If you are watching the replay, drop me a purple heart. Why don't I think about this before I pop on? I apologize. I am trying to get my phones. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. If you jump on, let me know if you can hear me okay. I do only have you propped up on a windowsill because I'm not sure where I put my tripod. I am in my new house, so I'm in a room that's like totally empty. So I'm sorry if it's echoey. I'm sorry if the lighting isn't great, but you know, we're moving and I am here showing up in all the ebbs and flows of life. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Morgan Zambrano. There's a bunch of new people in the past 24 hours, which is amazing. So thank you so much for following me or sending me a friend request or any other things. I've been in network marketing for 5 years, which is incredible. And I love to do trainings. So today we are going to talk about what I call having a front row mindset. This is something that I kind of coined I think it was, gosh, at this point it might have been like 2 years ago. It was a while ago, but it's really kind of applicable to my life right now, so I kind of wanted to talk about it. So online, no, let's not go that way. In person, when you go to like a class, you get to choose where you sit, right? You get to sit front row, you get to sit middle, you get to sit in the back. Tell me, when you go to like a new class, okay, so say you're taking I don't know, a math class, something you're not comfortable with, okay, where you're not like the superstar, but you really want to learn, but like you're not comfortable. Do you sit front row? Do you sit in the middle? Or do you sit in the back? I'm just curious, okay? So typically, what we see is that the people in the front row are the people that are confident. They know that they know, they want to learn, they're excited, they're leaning in, they're taking all the notes, they're raising their hand to answer questions. Like the front row is like the people that are like prepared and ready and just really excited to be there, right? The people in the back row might be in the back row with their friends. They might be goofing off a little bit. They might be wanting to hide snacks. Okay, if I'm hungry, I'll sit in the back row and I'll eat my food. If they're tired, they might sit in the back. The back is like I'm kind of half in, half out here. The middle is when you like want to hide, you want to like not be seen, so you want to sit in the middle because like you're not comfortable at all. Like you just want to like blend in. You just want to be in the middle. Nobody talk to me, nobody call on me, nobody see me. I am not comfortable here, okay? And so granted, some of you might be like, I never sit in the middle because then I'm surrounded by people, okay? So like the middle on the side, I like to sit in like the middle on the side, okay? Here's what I want you to understand. And this is why this is such a big philosophy of mine, is that this same front, middle, back, it can be brought online, okay? So if you are someone who has a front row mindset, you are also commenting on my video. Guess what? I would agree that you are probably front row, because when you are front row, you are leaning in, you are asking questions, you are engaging with the person who is speaking. When you're back row, you're watching the video, but you're also like sending commentary to your friends in the group chat. Like you're like, oh my gosh, like da-da-da, like you're like making jokes, or maybe you're the one, you know, making jokes in the comments, okay? Like that's the back row. You're just sitting there being like the jokester, or like being there. It could even be just to support your friend, but you're not there like for the actual information, you know, like that's the back row. Middle row is like you're watching, you're there, but like you're lurking. You're not commenting. You don't even want the person to know that you're watching the video. Like you're just watching, but maybe even watching makes you anxious because like you don't even know if you should watch, you know, like that's kind of the middle row. Or even like if you're watching, but you're doing the dishes or you're doing something else, like you put it off to the side, like that's still middle row, okay? I hugely applaud you for doing that. If you're listening to me while you're doing the dishes, you're amazing. But just know, you know, that's kind of middle row because you're hiding, you're taking in the information, but you're not participating, okay? And so here is where this kind of comes into play in your business. Have you ever heard the phrase proximity is power? Proximity is power. Online, when you are front row engaging with whoever is speaking, You are in proximity to the power. Because a lot of the time, the people that are going live are the trainers. They're, in essence, if you were in a room, they're the people at the front of the room. And if you've never heard, the person with the marker makes the most money. Again, proximity is power. When you go to a conference and there's 1,000 people there and there's the person at the front of the room, how many people talk to that person? Not very many. The VIPs, maybe the people who paid to speak to that person, people who had high-level achievements. Not a lot of people get to speak to that person. Online, you can speak to that person because guess what? A lot of the people who would typically sit front row don't online. They don't sit to watch videos because it takes time. They don't comment because they're listening while they're at the gym, okay? I have expanded my proximity. I have been able to gather, what is the word? There's a word that starts with an A. I can't think of what it is. But I've been able to get to know high-level people within my field as a nobody because I was the one commenting on their videos consistently. Because I was the one where when they issued out a challenge, just like say right now that I told you, you should go comment, you should go the next 5 trainings that you watch, you should share all 5 of them in your stories, tag that person, message them to ask them a question after. And it's like, if you're the person doing that, then you are gonna start to get to know these like higher level people, okay? I'll make this make more sense in a second. So the trainers that you follow, the people that you follow, the influential people that you follow, it doesn't matter. If you're the one commenting consistently on their videos, not just like fangirling. I am a huge like fangirl, don't get me wrong. But like if they need help with something, if they're just kind of like talking to you about a problem because they're live and we tend to discuss our problems, you be the one that solves the problem. Message them after and say, hey, I saw that you were you were saying that you're kind of having a problem with this. Have you ever looked into this? Be the person that brings them value. Even if you think that you are a nobody, start bringing them value. If they give assignments on their trainings, be the person who does the assignments. Be the person who shares their video and tags them. Do you know how good that feels when people share your video and tag you? Like I'm telling you, if you ever have a chance to meet them in person, go meet them in person. Be the person that shows up in person at whatever events that they are doing. And then you can, what baby? Oh. Here you go. And also, I know, again, I'm the person who always has questions. Anytime I watch a training, I have questions and I will ask them. But here's kind of like where I draw the line. If it's something that I can Google myself, I'm not gonna ask the speaker because I know that they are very busy and I'm not going to impress them if I'm asking them a question that I can Google. But if I Google the question and I still have a question, then I will message them and I'll say, hey, oh my gosh, I don't expect you to respond to this at all. I know you're crazy busy, but I watched your video this morning. I saw you talk about this. I looked up a little bit more information about it, but I was wondering if I could get clarity on this one issue or whatever. And message them, and you might just get like a short, sweet answer. Don't expect a full-blown conversation, but what you're doing is, again, you're creating that proximity. You're staying close to the fire, okay? This all probably sounds very silly, but here's what I want. I'm gonna tell you a couple stories for those of you that stayed on. A lot of, you guys might know that I'm speaking at the Most Powerful Women conference this weekend, okay? I'm flying to Vegas tomorrow, and I'm on a panel, the Rising Stars panel, at the Most Powerful Women in Network Marketing. How do you think they pick the rising stars? How do you think out of millions of network marketers, they know who the rising stars are? Because I tag them in freaking everything and I show up to every training that they do and I comment on every video that Eric Worre does. Network marketing is loud. Everything in the world is loud. Everyone is loud. Everyone wants attention. Everyone wants to be whatever, but very few people actually go after it. People ask me, how do you become a SeneGence trainer? I get asked that once a week. How do you become a SeneGence trainer? And I'm or people will say, they won't even ask me that. They'll just say, oh, SeneGence always picks the same people, or they only pick the people that are high ranked or whatever. And I say, no, they pick the people that they know. Oops, sorry Instagram. They pick the people that they know. There's 100,000 distributors. How do you think they pick 10 people? You want to get known? Start tagging them. You notice that almost every single post that I make about Senegence, I'm tagging my CEO, I'm tagging the president of my company, I'm tagging the CFO maybe. I'm tagging the director of recognition. I'm tagging them. And it's not because of who I am now. I've done that for 5 years. I've done that since the beginning, because it's like, hey, I want you to know me. I want to be on your radar. I want you to know I'm doing things that matter. I know that you have 100,000 distributors, but hey, I'm doing big things over here. You could be doing the biggest and the best things, and if your Instagram is private, if your Facebook is private, how are they supposed to know? There's 40,000 people that are doing high levels of sales, not 40,000. There's probably 2,000 people that are doing high level sales. There's probably 1,000 people that are doing high level sponsoring. How do you think they pick the 10? Because it's the 10 that are raising their hand real loud. Hey, hi, I'm interested. Another example, I always use the example of Jessie Lee. I talk about her all the time. Jessie Lee has 300,000 followers just on Instagram, okay? How on earth did I get to a point where I got to go to a Rangers game with her a couple weeks ago? It's because I'm obnoxious. I tag her in everything. I buy her products. I share her products sometimes. I joined the same mastermind group that she's in just to be able to get closer to her. It sounds really stalkerish, but I watch all of her videos. I listen to her podcast. I gave her a 5-star review. You can't ignore me. You can't ignore me. If I want something, I'm going to get it. If you want something, go get it. Stop hiding, stop wishing and waiting, and get to know the people that you want to get to know, because proximity is power. Sit front row, bring them value. What are you doing? Don't have the expectation of oh, I watch all of her videos. Hundreds of thousands of people watch people's videos. Are you the one also bringing them value? Are you the one also sharing their posts, going the extra step, tagging people, all of those things, buying their products if they have products? Y'all, I've been Jessie Lee's customer for a year and a half. I make sure that she gets that notification that my auto ship runs through. Is it because of the products? I just want her to see my name over and over and over again. You know that I'm consistent. Does that make sense? I sound nuts, but I have one more story. Here's a real story for you guys. This was a year and a half ago. This is a story I started telling, and then I went off on a tangent. I did the free recruiting challenge with Eric Worre. It was free. You guys might remember this. It was 2019, 2020. It was 2020. I signed up for it. It was 50,000 people, okay? It's a ton of people. And there was homework every single day. Out of 50,000 people, literally probably 10% actually watch the videos. Okay, that might be, maybe 50%. Let's say 50% actually show up and watch the videos. 50%. So you're already in the top 50% just by watching the trainings. Then, how many of those 50% actually comment on the trainings? Let's say it's another 50%. So now we're down to 25% actually watch and comment. Because people think, my comments don't matter. They're not gonna read them anyway. They're not gonna see them anyway. You can think that, that's fine. But then there's people like me that are you can't ignore my comments if I comment every 5 seconds. You can't ignore me if there's 100 comments because I'm conversing with you the whole time. Does that make sense? It sounds nuts, but I'm talking to them as if I'm the only one in the room and we're having a conversation, okay? You will notice if you've ever watched me watch a training, I'm commenting every 30 seconds because it's like a conversation, okay? Yes, my baby's over here. So anyway, so let's say 50% of people watch the videos, 50% of people comment. Less than 10% of people will do the homework. That's a stat I learned from Eric Worre himself. Less than 10% of people will do homework when you give homework on a big video, okay? Less than 10%. So you're already in the top 10% if you just do the homework. I do all the homework. Any homework any trainer ever gives me, I don't do the homework in secret. I do the homework and then I post about it and I tag them. They're gonna know that I did the homework. I'm the girl who does the homework every single day. Does that make sense? And I don't do it just for me. I do it because then they know that I did it. And that matters, okay? So I showed up for this free training. I watched all the trainings, I commented on all the trainings, I did all the homeworks, okay? I ended up winning a VIP ticket to GoPro in 2020. Some of you might know this story. I won a VIP ticket, okay? Of all the VIPs, there's like 2,000. They had a bonus training that only the VIPs could go to. About 200 of us showed up to this bonus training, okay? So again, I'm in the top 10% of the VIPs. I'm in the top 10% of the top percent, okay? So I'm like one of 200 on this whatever. Then during this training, they announced, okay, only those of you on this training get to enter this contest, this speaking contest. 2 years ago, I was not a speaker. But 2 years ago, I wanted really badly to get close to the people that matter. Eric Worre didn't know my name 2 years ago. So I was like, I'm gonna enter this contest. I'm terrified, but I'm gonna enter this contest. I'm telling you guys, I actually like bawled my eyes out. I was so stressed about having to record a 3-minute video. I literally recorded it over 100 times. This is not a joke. This took me over 12 hours to record a 3-minute video because I was so nervous. I submitted that video. I made the top 10. And I guarantee you there was probably 40 people that entered. People think it's so cool that I made the top 10. Y'all, how many people do you think actually entered? Not very many people are actually gonna do the work. Be the person who does the work. Submitted the video, made it to the top 10, practiced over and over and over and over and over. I'm telling you, I did not stop because I've never done public speaking. In front of 50,000 people, I gave a 3-minute speech and I won $10,000. Here's the key. Instead of taking that $10,000, which back then would have changed my life, I asked if instead I could join the mastermind. Because the mastermind was only 50 people back then. Now it's a lot more. But it was only like 50 people, and guess what? It was Jessie Lee. It was Eric Worre. It was all these other big names that you know, and I wanted to be around them, and I knew that I did not have $10,000 to get around them. So instead of taking the money, I joined that mastermind. And like the last 2 years, my life has totally changed. And I had already been in network marketing for 3 years. So I tell you this story for you to understand that showing up front row online, on the internet, being the person who comments, being the person who engages, being the person who shares and interacts and provides value to people, it matters. Because a lot of people don't. Because a lot of people don't think that their comments matter, that their shares matter, they're 1 in a million, what does it matter? If you change that mindset and you say, I do matter. My voice does matter. My opinions do matter. Me, like I deserve to be in these rooms. Can you tell this makes me emotional? I want you guys to know that you matter and you are so much more worthy than you realize. So stop hiding. Stop hiding in the middle row and start showing up front row because you freaking deserve it. Okay? So this went off way more into storyland than action plans. But I hope that this was valuable, and I cannot wait to see you live from Las Vegas in a moment that is definitely going to make me very emotional. But it's all been intentional. This has all been part of my plan and part of my vision. And if you have a vision and if you have a plan, you have to show up as her today. You have to show up as that girl today. Your vision 5 years from now, what does she talk like? How does she act? How does she dress? What is her posture? What actions does she take? Start taking those actions now. Start being her, and you will walk into her. Okay? So, if you got value from this, feel free to follow, feel free to share, feel free to tag a friend, and I will let you guys go, and I will see you next time. Asher, do you want to come say bye? Bye. Hold on. Here, say again. Say bye. Bye. Bye, guys. Thanks for listening.